And welcome back everyone to my channel. And yeah, I'm out on a drive trying to get to a particular place. I'm on my way to Lower Beeding today because my hike is going to combine a little bit of a topical current affair in British media, which is that to do with hotels that open up for immigration. You know, and there is one in Lower Beeding, what used to be like a luxury hotel that's now permanently closed for sort of general people to hire a room to take on asylum seekers. I feel like the whole issue of immigration in the UK is a smokescreen that's being used by the rich to basically blind us to what is actually going on. That being that the rich are trying to stop themselves from having to contribute to society by paying more. So therefore it's the classic sort of smoke and mirrors, rather than deal with the wealth inequality that is present in the UK, which has been getting progressively worse and was made substantially worse by COVID. The only solution to sort of bringing harmony back to the population, to give people more money, to make people feel more comfortable, is to try to tax wealth. And the rich don't want to do that at all. So they're quite happy to put all of their money behind the campaign to blame the other, blame the refugee, blame the asylum seeker. Let's call them immigrants. Let's call them illegal immigrants. And, you know, I see lots of people on YouTube out there sort of, you know, building up their channels to sort of like basically run with this right-wing agenda and this blame game, which is just sort of basically focusing all of the ills of the country onto a group of desperate people who are trying to find a safer place to live in the world. Yeah, so this place is located in Sussex. It's called the Siswood Hotel, or the Siswood House. It was built in 1920s for the then chairman of Harrods, and it became one of the most prestigious venues in the country. It was known for its architectural charm and its lush gardens, and it later evolved into a luxury hotel sought after for weddings and events. During its heyday, the hotel boasted 51 to 52 luxury rooms, a 45-seater restaurant, as well as a swimming pool, sauna and spa. However, due to COVID, it was forced to basically liquidise and went out of business. So this is nothing to do with asylum seekers. And due to Brexit, it meant that immigration into the country has really rapidly increased, and markedly so. It's not as easy to get rid of the asylum seekers as it used to be due to Brexit, which is quite ironic because it's like most of the people that are banging on about immigration cause the problem. Speaking about you, Mr. Farage. And in 2023, the Conservative government put a contingency plan into place to use the Siswood as an emergency centre for housing immigrants or asylum seekers, or refugees in this case. They were very abruptly, the people that are here, there's families that are located in this hotel, were relocated very abruptly from Tower Hamlets. The local reaction has been mixed, with some parts of the community arguing that it's led to an increasing noise and litter. I must say, since I've been walking around, I haven't noticed any litter. And when I passed the hotel earlier, I didn't notice any noise either. I think it was... but I'm obviously only here for a brief visit. But certainly not a litter-strewn area. Complaints from those residents, according to the paper, were that the noise was from the children playing cricket in the hotel car park. I mean, come on. There is sympathy within the community though. The local church, the Holy Trinity Church, the Reverend there has basically tried to lead the way with kindness. Many of the families that attend the hotel go to church for service, and she's found them nothing but polite and kind, and willing to sort of be a full-on part of the community. Yeah, so apologies for this slightly different start to this video. I'm just getting to the point where I'm sick of all the news being about the boats and the hotels. And, I don't know if it's a majority, a significant minority of people that just fall for that narrative, hook, line and sinker. And you've got people outside of hotels and making it difficult for people inside. I mean, what do the people think that's going to actually achieve? They think they're going to stand there and people are going to go back to the country from that hotel. All they're doing is being bullying and aggressive and not actually identifying what the issue is. The issue being that the ultra-rich want to throw wool over your eyes so that you don't see that the real people that are screwing the country, i.e. them, for what they're doing. So what they're doing is they're throwing you a nice little victim under the bus, and so many people are buying it, and it's really annoying. And basically the influx of cash that came into the UK economy and worldwide by government to sort of prop up people during COVID ultimately found its way into the hands of the rich, because obviously that money would be spent by people, and ultimately that money ends up in the pockets of the people that own all of the resources, right? So the rich have got the money, means we're now in a position in the country where the government doesn't have any money. The government's bankrupt. It's got no more lending that it can do. The poor, the working class haven't got any spending power to buy property, and it's quite likely in the next budget that the middle class will be taxed more. And the elephant in the room is the ultra-rich will not be, as is often the case, as is the way to get this money back. The ultra-rich are the people in possession of that money that was infiltrated into the economy. To get it back, you need to tax wealth, basically. You need to tax wealth, not work, as Gary Stevenson says, but that's not happening. So you're probably going to see in the budget an increase in taxation on the middle classes, which will ultimately lead the middle class to fall, be unable to buy property, assets, land, meaning that the only group that are going to be able to buy anything is going to be the rich, which is going to lead to a collapse of the welfare state. All this is playing out in front of everyone's eyes right now, but yet all people can do is feel that the heat that's coming from that and the desperation that's coming from that. And basically being put before their eyes is illegal immigrants. All the anger's directed there. I get the frustration and the anger because it's tough living in the UK. Cost of living sky high. But really, it's a misdirected anger. And that's the frustrating thing. People really need to step back and see that they're being made an absolute fool. The leader of the party that most people want to get in, Reform, is responsible for the immigration problem. By leaving the EU, we closed off so many routes whereby we used to be able to send immigrants straight back. Can't do that anymore. And it's just sort of basically led to this massive rise in immigration into the country, people seeking asylum, and that process taking a long time, which is ultimately leading to a hotbed. All these stories of, oh, you're living in hotels, and the hotel that used to be luxury that I covered earlier, it's not looking like that now. You're talking about one family in a room, you're talking about bunk beds in those rooms. It's It's just a despicable situation, and I just wanted to at least put some video out that tells a different side to the story, because everything I'm getting on my feed from people, these right-wing attitudes and just going around whipping up hatred, leaves a very sour taste in my mouth anyway. But let's get back to this lovely walk. This is literally such an amazing seat. It's like carved out of wood, but looks like a Kofi sofa. This is a tiny entrance. It all does feel rather private, but it's where the trail says it is. Yeah, so definitely a bit of a different start, going through like a plush hotel grounds. There was a spa, a little lake there, people looking at me, and there wasn't an accessible way to get onto this public footpath from the way that all trails sent me. So that probably needs a little update. I think I'm now on the public footpath, luckily. But yeah, interesting. Awkward going through people's property. The camera so white here. I don't know. Just dropped my phone as well. Luckily, got a crack down it. The dog's absolutely harassing me as I went through there. It's weird, sort of this public right to roam thing when it goes right through the middle of someone's property there. A bit awkward all round. Follow this. Looks like I'll be going through the field with those two chaps. Let's hope they're not as bad as the dogs. Hello. Hey you. Hey mate. Hey mate. You can't see you. Oh, you've got all those flies, haven't you? Oh, some fairly scary wildlife activity. followed by this guy. I'm sure he's very friendly, but the dogs put me off a bit. Yeah, so there's been some lovely sights already, but a little bit of an awkward one so far. Going through a hotel, a spa and a swimming pool, people looking, trying to close off, access to the public land blocked off by the hotel, and then going through that property just now, just sort of no attempt by the woman that lived there to get her dogs to go away. I was feeling rather threatened, and had it continued I'd have probably lashed out, but I didn't want to do that. I had to show some real restraint because they was very aggressive, or one of them was. And then the style to get in with the horses, really poorly maintained. Someone will injure themselves on that before long. Damaged completely on one side. So very clear that those owners are trying to discourage people from using the public right of way, in my mind. Yeah, so this is a really differing walk. Amazing sort of changes between forest and crops and residential places. It's been really interesting, some amazing buildings to look at, to go through. Really liking it. I mean, it's a little bit more fraught than the other two that I've done in terms of how close you come to property owners within this walk. And then obviously when I was in the hotel grounds, no one really challenged me there. People were quite polite when I did come across them. But yeah, it's different. Definitely recommend it. Just watch out for the dogs in that property. Trees, I believe they're Scots pines, aren't they? Again, my tree knowledge is as good as my bird knowledge. If I'm wrong, let me know. The observant ones of you might have noticed that we're now back to the start. This is the, well, I believe it's in that hotel grounds, or it's at least part of that estate. Heading back now. I think that this pathway hopefully will lead out to the street rather than me having to go back through the hotel again. There wasn't actually a public access point from there. There was supposed to be, according to All Trails, but the hotel would kind of block that up, which is a bit cheeky. So yeah, I did notice that this continued straight, so I'm hoping that will just lead me down to the road to get back to get my car. It's supposed to have a right of way on it, but it doesn't. You can hear the road up ahead, so this is actually a better way to get onto this route. Although the scenes in the hotel were quite good to look at with the helicopter and the amazing grounds, so probably we'd do that again if we came this way. But this is a good way to exit to not have to go back that way again. As I was walking past that tree back there, just literally in front of me, a huge branch fell off. I mean, maybe it was an omen not to come this way, I don't know. Out onto the very busy Brighton Road, and I'm just heading back up to where I parked my car. Nice pub up here. Be rude not to enjoy a beverage while I'm here.
Me and Will came in and sat down.
Oh yeah, you're open?
Yeah.
I'll get a drink.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What would you like, sir?
Can I have a pint of Moretti, please?
You can.
Thank you.
It's happy hour too.
What's that mean? Everyone's got to be smiling.
No, it's about 50
A bit cheaper? Nice. It's all right. Very nice people. Cheers. Happy hour. So it turns out that, you know, you could actually park in the hotel car park. And I suppose the route that the app was showing through the hotel grounds was correct also. So it's a little bit cheeky of them to not put in some kind of style or something for the public to be able to get onto that route where I went. Anyway, I climbed the fence, so it was fine. But yeah, there we go. That's the end of that route. It was fun. Nice drink at happy hour in the Crabtree. And yeah, thanks for coming along for the ride.